Messed it up immediately, but we fixed it. What is up, everybody? It is Lou. It's not Lou. It's Liv. Liv here at the shop. Super glad to be here with you guys. I am super stoked for tonight. We've got a super awesome special guest. You guys know him. I know him. Comics King. Comics Kings. Or as everybody in the comments is saying, Baby White Guy. But before we get started, before we get into this interview, so that I have some time to catch my breath and save some face, we are going to jump right into our sponsors.
Our sponsors, the Awakening Espresso, located right here next to the shop. Go get the best drink in town, then hang with us at the shop.
EGS Comics Grading Services, we can get them hot custom labels.
Michael Ray Photography, our preferred choice for boudoir, cosplay, couples, all your photo needs.
And unleash your inner savage at Frosted Axe Throwing, the only place in town where you don't catch a felony charge, with locations in Anchorage and Eagle River.
Rep the best shop ever with our swag shop. Go to our website, click swag shop, order the coolest gear, and rep us all over town.
And support content like this on our Patreon. Hook it up.
Homelight. Do you have a house you need to sell? Maybe a secret lair? Contact Homelight today for all your home selling needs.
They got them agents at the ready, so check them out. And of course, Dave Eller Financial Services with Edward Jones. Because unless your name is Tony Stark, you're going to need Dave Eller, so check him today.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram, because we're hilarious.
Hysterical.
Ladies, do you want to look awesome in a pair of Aegis leggings? Well, make sure when you order a size larger than you normal wear so you don't look like a busted can of biscuits. You never know what someone will look like in one of these pairs of leggings.
All right. Oh, man, I accidentally switched it to the wrong screen. 1 second. There we go. We fixed it once again. No, Lou. I don't got the backstory on that one, but he called me. Well, I called him last minute, so I'm stepping in for the day. But fortunately, I don't have to do this one alone. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we have a very special guest at the show, Comics Kings. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it is super exciting to have you here. Lou threw us both into this last minute, so why don't you tell our loving audience a little bit about yourself?
What's up, you guys? So I'm Brandon, Comics Kings. I'm over on Instagram, YouTube, same handle. That's really it. YouTube channel's great. I do a lot of book reviews. I talk about comics a lot. I interview a lot of creators. For those of you that's probably like how people know me is because of the people that I interview. I get nicknamed a lot, which cool, but you guys can call me Brandon. That whole Baby White Guy nonsense. It's a funny joke, but it's getting a little old.
Is there a backstory on that?
Ask Amy that.
Oh, Amy, what'd you do this time? Amy, if you type that one in the comments, I'll bop it up on the top of the screen. Spinetick says he's gonna play that clip tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Baby White Guy, cool, great, but it's Brandon.
It's Brandon. Got it. Yeah, so Brandon, how long have you been into comics for?
Since I was, I believe, 15, 16 years old. I've always kind of been into the fandoms. I started with Star Wars when I was a kid. My first Star Wars movie, I started with the original trilogy when I was like 3-4 years old with my uncle. Yeah. And then I got to see Revenge of the Sith in theaters, so I was probably like 4 at the time, 5 at the time. I'm 20 years old now, so it's been an exciting journey. I remember my first comic book was a Star Wars one when I think I got my first one. I was like 12 or 13, but I didn't actually start reading until I went to Awesome Con with a buddy of mine. We used to do content over on Instagram TV before I went over to YouTube. So he was the guy I started it with, probably March of 2019, I think. 2019?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2019, 2018. And then he left. He wanted to pursue his music career, and I took over the channel because he didn't want to go over YouTube. I thought that because Instagram was doing all type of fuck shit with the elections, that they were messing with the Instagram algorithm. We weren't getting views at all. Nothing was getting out there. So I was like, you know what? We got to move it. So we did, and he didn't come along with me. So I kind of rebranded everything, switched up the channel, everything. Finally got to a posting schedule, got a new team around me that I'm
Nice.
very grateful to, and I couldn't do that without them.
Yeah. Well, that sounds super exciting. It sounds like you just kind of like jumped in and did it. And like, look at you now. How many subscribers you got?
We are at 425. I don't know. People, I, I don't really check my subscribers on the daily because it's like I'm not here for getting the most subs. If it happens, if people like the content, they will subscribe. They'll like
Yeah.
the video. They'll comment. They'll interact. What I'm really all about is just building a community of people that just want to talk about comics, want to listen to my reviews, listen to what I think about the books, and hear from a lot of the creators that come on the show, because we don't have a lot of cons going on, or now we're getting them, but not all creators
Thankfully.
are going to cons, or
Right.
some people don't have like, I know like being in the last few years probably only have so many creators that go out that way.
I mean, we only have cons that we host at this point, so you know.
Yeah. So it's like, what I like to do is I like to connect people who are open to that kind of content to guests that they probably wouldn't interact with otherwise. So, kind of feel like I'm Avatar: Last Airbender, being the bridge between the two,
Yeah.
between the two spirit worlds. So, if you guys did catch my interview with Dan Riders and Danny last week on Arkham City, that was fantastic. I've had John Romita Jr. on. Actually, this is my back-to-back guests. I don't know how it happened, but it was like Will Sportacio, Bob Layton, and John Romita Jr. all three like
Oh my
in a row.
gosh.
And I don't know. And
That's-
I have a
that's
huge guest
wild.
coming in November. I have a huge guest in November that I can
Oh.
actually announce.
Ooh.
This is gonna be this is the first appearance for everybody here. I actually have two guests I can announce.
Ooh.
First being Leah Williams.
Oh,
from
wow.
John Magneto, and the other one is Marv Wolfman.
Oh my gosh. So
So
definitely gonna have to keep an eye on your channel. You mind if I bop your logo and our little promo image for you up on the screen real quick?
I would love for you to throw me up on the big screen.
Yeah. So check him out. Comics Kings, Instagram, YouTube, all the socials. Do me a solid real quick. Open up YouTube in another tab. Go follow him. Go do it. Do it now. Go. I can see you. Go.
Oh, me?
No.
Or them?
No, them.
Oh.
Them. I'm teasing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, what?
No. No, that's... I'm improvising, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, so what's the local comic scene like where you are?
So I have the shop called Beyond Comics. They have a retailer store that's like 5 minutes from me. Their headquarters are about 30. There's a lot of traffic. I'm in Maryland, so I'm right outside of DC. I'm 30 minutes
Got
from
it.
DC. Oh yeah, I'm on TikTok as well. I actually have two TikTok accounts, which is a little weird. One has almost 16,000 followers because I did sports football content and it just blew up for some weird reason. The comic book one I started a month ago and finally hit that 1K mark.
Nice.
So that's making moves there. It's fun, but yeah, I have a store called Beyond Comics. They're fun. They're great. I'm too happy with them right now because they screwed me over with the slipcase, but I have a good relationship with my guys over at Third Eye Comics, which is a huge store. They're about an hour from me, an hour 45 minutes or so. So I think I'm going to start making the trip out that way
Okay.
more often. The LCS owner never filed my pre-order for Something's Come the Children hard case, and then
Ooh.
because he ordered like 2 for the store, 2 extras for the store, and he never filled out my pre-order, and I was the
Ooh.
first one to pre-order. I know this because I texted him as soon as it was announced, like 30 seconds after,
Oh man.
and he never ordered it. And he was like, yeah, you can blame Ross Ritchie, da da da. I'm like, yeah, no, I blame you for not knowing the FOC.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I called up Third Eye and I paid over the phone. I was like, yeah, I'm getting this, and they're like, they hooked me up, so I'm super grateful for them.
Oh, dope. It's always good to be able to have a backup.
Other than that, my LCS, I don't think they really understand what I do because I tell them what's going on with the YouTube. I'm like, hey, we can do something. I can help you guys out, or we can scratch each other's backs a little bit. They're like, not about it. So I'm like, but they're nice people. I go in the shop. They always take care of me, except for this one instance. But it's, it's a good environment. It's not really like a hangout place. It's just like you just grab yourself and go. I want an LCS that's kind of like a hangout place though.
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely something that I've always looked for in LCS. It's one of the reasons I really like here. The only issue is now we have so many books that like no flat spaces for us to actually sit out with the chairs that we've got. So like, we're getting back there. It'll be a hangout space soon. I mean, for now, our hangout space seems to be largely online and in the comment sections of other people's videos.
Yeah.
Spine ticks.
Yeah, spine ticks. Yeah, so spine ticks is great, man. Actually, my crew, the PCB Army Bad Batch, are going to be rolling with them in about 30 minutes now. So,
oh my
so
gosh,
that's very exciting.
Super back to back to back to back, huh?
I'm actually not going to be on the show tonight. I'm going to be taking a break. I've been on their show about every week for the past few, but I got company over. I got 2 people in the comic community that are coming over tonight.
Oh, nice.
So they're actually here right now, but I'm here with you guys.
Oh, well, we appreciate it.
They're my audience tonight. They're like
good.
watching like awkwardly.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I do with my friends. It's like, hey, just stand here. I'm going to talk at you real quick. It's cool. You're the audience. Right. It's not a participation sport.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. I'm out of the 2 questions that Lou gave me. So is there anything going on right now in comics that you were just super hyped for?
That I'm super hyped for. I guess I'm hyping up for. I'm a huge X-Men fan, so I'm excited to see what they're doing right now. I think what they're doing is great. I know a lot of people don't, but I've been liking this. Spineworks Comics will be at Baltimore Comic Con. I'll be at Baltimore. So you can find me there. If anyone's going to Baltimore, just hit me up, and we'll find a way to link up. I'm all for it. Get to know as many people as I can. I guess that's really what I'm most excited about right now is Baltimore. I'm excited to meet some more creatives now that I have my YouTube and I can kind of go there with people already knowing who I am or what I do. Because I'm never really one to really talk about or brag about what I have. And I think if I did that more, I would get more subscribers. But I'm like, I kind of want it to be more of a reward for the people that are already there. Because they're the ones who will stick. They're the ones who will be with me 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road. But I'm just really excited to meet everybody, build a better community, right? I always love it when people come into my chats and say, I just learned something today, about a book. So Baltimore, it's going to be great. There's so many people that are going to be there that I'm excited to talk to. Stories-wise, I'm excited for Donny Cates doing Hulk. I think that's going to be a big hit. I'm excited for House of Slaughter that's going to be dropping.
I'm so excited for that one.
James Tynion. See, James Tynion was supposed to be on the show, but then he said, but it was literally like, because I met him, right? And we've been talking for a while now, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be doing something, so now's not the best time. And the day later, it's like, FUDC, and I'm like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, that's it. So Tynion will be here in December, along with Steve Orlando, J.M. DeMatteis will be on, and then I have one other person that slipped my mind in December. But I have my interviews booked up completely until 2022.
Wow.
Which will kick off with Joel Jones. So,
dude, that's some big names that you're just like, oh yeah, casually like, yeah.
To me, it's another interview. It's just meeting another person, talking about their work. Much like how you're trying to promote my channel here, I try to promote their stuff, and we just talk about comics in general. We talk about business. We get in there, but it's a fun show. And I think the interviews are very well received from everyone. I mean, it's the biggest show. So it's like I'll see people who I've never seen before pop in. And they're like, oh, I'm a huge fan of comics. And I'm like, no, you're not, but thanks. But other than that, we do a weekly wrap-up show, which is every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Me and my co-host, Bryce Hillbilly Comics, we talk about the books that came out this week. And we give our recaps, our reviews. Sometimes we'll get into some exclusive reviews. We'll even have creators on from past Creators Corners plugging their stuff. Like Philip Kennedy Johnson is on a lot. Michael Cloonan and Becky Conrad. No, Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan are on a lot. Kari Andrews is on a lot. Marcus Toe. So many creators just come on just to plug their stuff that comes out on a weekly basis. And then me and Missing Link, part of the Whiplash Wednesday for the PCP Army Bad Batch, we do Crisis on Infinite Rants, where we talk about a subject in the comic world, or we just have like fun conversations. So it's a fun show. We just did our drafting a Justice League team, so we we drafted a team from the cuff. So I didn't know who we wanted to pick. We just built a team of 7, then pitched a story together based off the team that we gathered, like and then who we wanted to write and draw. It was a great video. Spoilers: no Batman was in it. We know not a Batman team, not a Batman Justice League team. So. And then, what do I do Friday? Fridays I'm off. Thursdays I try to be off. Fridays actually we have Archives, a show called Archives that drops. It's just it's where we do a deep dive of a trade paperback or book that's already out. Just revisit it, break it down, review it, walk you guys through the story. We just did Young Avengers, which is actually led by Stefan Missing Link, and we just shot Three Jokers, which is coming out next week.
Oh, awesome!
I led that one. So you got to hear you're going to hear our thoughts about that book and everything else in that. But that's another show that has slowly been getting traction. It's a newer show, so I'm not expecting the views to be out the sky. But I know Jim Shang did watch our Young Avengers review because he DM'd me about it. I'm like, nice.
Nice.
You could have commented. I'm like, you could have commented, but thank you.
Yeah, I actually just watched that one today. So like, I super enjoyed that one. That's right up my alley personally. I love when I can learn a lot about a book all at once. So
yeah, that's what we're trying to do with Archives, is create that kind of structure. It's like, even if you missed out on a story, just watch the shit, watch it, because it's not, and then you could still. We don't want to take away from the experience when you're going to read it, because like, we want to also encourage you to read it, but we also don't want to discourage you because you watch a video. So like, even though we do get into spoilers, it's not like we're taking away. We're very objective when we're talking about the book, so it's not like we're gonna fanboy over a book. Like, I could fanboy over the latest issue of Blue Beetle, not Blue Beetle, Blue and Gold, because I love this issue. But when we're talking about it, we're just gonna be objective. We're gonna say like, we liked it, it was cool and everything, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, because that's not gonna do the audience any favors. And then what do we do Saturdays, Sundays? We're off on the weekends. I believe I'm off on the weekends, and it's Creators Corners usually some weekends, here and there. So that's really whenever it's convenient. So sometimes it'll be Tuesdays, sometimes it'll be Thursdays. But yeah, we're doing a lot, and I have a great support crew that is going to be with me for years to come. It's Bryce, Stefan, this guy Michael for Love of Comics on TikTok. Great dude. Owns a store in LA, so he's awesome. Okay. And we have a great band together, and this brand is here to stay. So I'm very excited for the community that we're building with ourselves, and I'm super grateful for everyone in the chat here today. I've seen in my show, so just big thank you to them for kind of giving the show a chance, and always just being encouraging and just talking about what you like to read, what you're not liking. That's what I'm not one for speculation. If you want to speculate, go for it. I'm not gonna hold that against you. That's not what I'm about. That's not like, because speculation can only go so far, right? When you're wrong, it's very toxic. But books, we always go back. Whether you're a speculator, a CDC collector, whatever you are, seller, at the end of the day, why did you get started in this hobby? Is because of the insides of the pages. We always go back to the insides of the pages, especially if the market crashes like it did in the 90s. You're going to go back to the inside of the pages no matter what. So that'll stay there 100%.
Yeah, sure. So more of a personal question. What's your favorite video you've ever put out?
My favorite video.
The one you had the most, the one you've had the most fun with, and the one you like the
Will's
best.
Will's Portacio was the best. It was the best Creators Corner interview I've ever done. That one was so hype. That one was hype because we were talking about everything going on. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, it's a long interview. Like, he stayed on the show for almost 3 hours. We talked for almost 3 hours. This is like, we talked. No disrespect to Spec. No disrespect to Spec. But that's not me. I could hang with the Spec. I just choose not to. Will's was awesome. We talked about Bishop. We talked about the foundation of Image Comics. We talked about his run with the X-Men, and kind of how his relationships with Scotty Williams, Jim Lee, kind of how everything, Tom McFarlane, everything just forged together. His position at Marvel, how he came up just drawing Punisher with Jim Lee. And then got the X-Men gig, and kind of the environment in the X office in the 90s, especially what they were doing for diversity, what they were doing with certain characters, and kind of the creation of what they started. Because the early 90s was a very hot time for X-Men. Right. Not so much post. Like, once they left, they didn't have another option, so they gave Scott Lobdell the book, and it just didn't work. But then we ended up pitching an Archangel story, like just together, just talking about it, and we're actually still discussing it to this day. So it was fantastic, and and he even said right on the show, I'm coming back whether you like it or not. And I was like, I'm not holding that against you. Could you bring Mark Silvestri with you, please?
We got talks. We could get to it.
Right. So, that was probably the most enjoyable video that I've put out that way. I enjoy the Dan Wouters and Danny interview that just happened.
Mhm.
They were a lot of fun because it was really hard getting someone from the UK and someone from Greece and under the same roof with someone from the East Coast, and that was a fun show.
Mhm.
It wasn't that long, but we just had a lot of great conversations, and Dan and Danny are great people. I met Danny personally, so I've already had that relationship with her, and she's probably she's just a very fun person. She's a very fun person. I've never met someone drawing a Batman universe book and just not enjoy Batman, so it was kind of funny. So, and then Dan's just a character. Dan's awesome. So I highly recommend checking that out. And then the weekly wrap up we recently put out was a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah.
A lot of fun. Which is our 400 subscriber kind of giveaway celebration. And since that video on Monday, we've been up 25 followers.
That's not bad at all.
So
I know it's not a follower game, but that also feels good to be getting some recognition for that work you're putting in.
Yeah,
Building that
it's weird.
community.
It's weird, and like no, like literally, like I don't look at my views. People are like, dude, your views have been up double since July. I'm just like, great, Like I'm very excited about that, but it's also it's kind of it's a little surreal. That's like it's like because now like people want me to be on the shows. Like this is kind of why that's going on, is because my name's getting out there more, and I do appreciate you guys trying to boost that. Like I was just recently on Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm going to be on AR Comics in November 1st. So there's a lot of stuff has been going on. So it's awesome, And Sith has been a big help with that. So big shout out to Sith, and big shout out to the PCP Army. They've been very supportive as well.
Mm-hmm. Amy wants to know, what's your favorite comic book?
My favorite comic book. See, that's how you run an interview right there. Good job, Amy. That's how you can still be on the panel, Amy. I love it. So, my favorite comic book of all time would have to be Frank Miller's Daredevil. That has to be it, hands down. Says, you will never stop calling me baby white guy, no matter how many times I tell you it's Brandon. Only on, I'll only be baby white guy on Spine Ticks.
It's okay. You got to draw the line somewhere, and if the line is
only on Spine Ticks.
I think a lot of things are only on Spine Ticks. Let's be real.
Right. That's a great book. Saga's one of my favorite books, so I'm super excited that just got announced.
I'm so excited it's coming back. Like
I'm so stoked.
As soon as that hits the pre-orders.
Yep. I already hit up my LCS and I already said, yeah, you may not have ordered me the slipcase, but you're gonna order me something. You're gonna put Saga on my pull list.
Every single cover, you're putting it in there.
No, yeah, every cover. Invincible's one of my favorites. Ultimate Spider-Man is one of my favorites. I just got through Bendis. I started pretty recently, 5-6 years ago.
Right.
Since then, I've tried to work my way through when I started reading, I was reading Silver and Modern at the same time. Because I started in dollar bins, and then I started coming out more.
Right.
And started getting into continuity. My first DC event was Blackest Night that I bought in trade. And then I started right at Metal. So I started reading right at Metal.
Okay.
I guess. So that was kind of my timetable of that. So I was there for Rebirth and everything. So I was reading Silver Age, then I was reading Bronze Age, I'm still filling in those holes a little bit, but I've read all the main stuff. It's just going back to little series that no one cares about. If you ask me about Steve Engelhardt, another guest I had on the show, reading his Avengers run, which is one of my favorites, reading his Defenders, again, one of my favorites. And then he did Just League for a little bit. He did, what else? He created Shang-Chi, and his cosmic stuff with Jim Starlin King that was a lot of fun. So, and then his Silver Surfer is fantastic as well. He never did X-Men, but just talking with him was great. And then just reading these stories are great. And now I'm catching up on everything between 2000 and 2012. So that's really what I'm trying to nick down. I'm almost done with the Fantastic Four. I believe I just started the Millar run. I just finished Bendis' run on Avengers. And DC, I'm making my way through. I just finished Meltzer's Justice League, so I'm going to be hitting McDuffie, and then I'll be caught up. So
Wow.
I'm really excited.
You're just plowing right through those. Damn. Okay.
And then I'm reading Batman by Grant Morrison,
Yeah.
and then I have to go back and get Paul Dini's run, and then I'll be like all set in modern Batman, and
And then you just
I'm
got to go
excited.
back. You got to get back even older from there.
Oh no, I also reread Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams. Daughter of the Demon is my favorite story. I love it when you handle Ra's al Ghul properly, and it's great. It's fantastic seeing like what he does to draw Batman out of Gotham. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
So I try to read everything. That way I can not only do I enjoy it, but it pays off when I'm talking about a book like Blue and Gold or like The Amazing Spider-Man. Just two books that I'm looking at right now. And then indies are another question because I'm still kind of exploring those more, trying to get into some more of those classics from that era. So
I really
that's
like
another.
so many modern indies, but as soon as I get back to like the 90s, I'm like, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
So you got any recommendations maybe?
Do I have any recommendations?
Yes, because
for
personally,
people? Personally, it really depends on the reader. I would say if you have a conversation with me, I'll know what kind of reader you are off the bat, and I would be able to find a book for you based off of your recommendations. Brent, I'm trying to read Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, all from Crisis on Infinite Earths onwards, but I just need to do one at a time. Yeah, from talking on that post-Crisis, I would say The Flash would be my way to go, because then you'll get introduced to Wally more, and you'll get to know how Mark Waid built up Wally's character, and then that'll take you throughout the 90s. Jeff Johns, that's kind of how he started most of his career, writing Wally, trying to bring back and getting into the resurrection of Barry. But I wish that resurrection of Barry just never happened. But,
that feels like
I'm not a Barry
solid
Allen. I'm not a Barry Allen fan. I'm not a
Really?
Jason Todd fan, and I'm not a Cyclops fan. And,
I can't say that I'm a Cyclops fan either, but
I can't stand Cyclops. I can't stand Cyclops. It sucks.
we got the statue, we got the Sideshow collectible statue out there, and I'm just like, whoever buys that, I'm gonna know something about them deep inside,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna hold that in myself forever, just that
Right.
knowledge.
If you're a diehard Cyclops fan, that tells you A, you get no limit. A, you get you don't know.
There's a
I'm
judgment
sorry.
going on here.
I'm sorry. There are only certain characters I will judge somebody for. Cyclops is one of them. Red Hood is one of them.
There's a lot to
Right.
say about like who your favorite character is, because you, on some level, identify with their story, and that's like,
Like, but here's the thing: Red Hood has no story other than I came back and I'm pissed at the world. I don't know. I don't get it, right? So
I mean, that's
even-
me coming back from any college semester, so like on one hand, I get it, but
Right. Yeah, that was me. I was like, I mean, I'm here, but Red Hood is. Here's the thing with Red Hood. Under the Red Hood that Judd Winnick wrote, Scott Lobdell took over the character. How cool is this? Ages Comics and Comics. Yeah, what's up, Matt? I love that guy. Matt's one of the best people I know. So Red Hood just nothing's happened. Scott Lobdell just put it with other broken characters, hoping that they would resolve it. And this motherfucker wrote it from 2013 to 2020, did nothing for Red Hood. Nothing. He's still an angry person who will never get over Batman. And until a writer picks that up, like Zdarsky did more in 6 issues of a backup story in Urban Legends than Scott Lobdell would ever do with the character. I'm sorry. Right? He made a friend in Arsenal. Arsenal ain't doing shit now. None of them are. The two of us are. I'm sorry, and I love Roy, and I hate the fact that the deal just said screw all the sidekicks, screw Arsenal, screw Wally, screw Nightwing, my favorite in DC.
yeah.
But no. If you like Red Hood, I judge you, and one of my best friends loves Red Hood, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just drag him. He's not here to
I've
stop
I've sent him 3 Nightwing trades already.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, what will convince you?
you. Just love him.
Yes.
Stephen M has a
I'm
question.
Tim.
Yeah. Stephen M has a question. Who's your favorite hero and villain, and why?
I love this question. So I'm a huge Daredevil fan. When I started reading, like I said, I was going through a bad time when I started reading I guess we've all had our dark corners. I was in mine, and Daredevil was a character that like really like helped me cope with everything, or like really put things into perspective. Like, it's not about like what you're struggling with, because we're all struggling with some, like whether it's like marriage, relationship, school, depression, some sort of addiction, anything, or even just like stress management, or getting up every day, pain, right? With who am I talking about? Daredevil. Right? Yeah, that guy. With Daredevil, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm dealing with all this, but how can I not let it affect what I do the next day? How can it like not get in the way of how I work, how I carry myself, how I treat other people? You know, because he has a disability, right? He also has an advantage, but he could have completely let that disadvantage take over his life. He could have completely let his depression take over his life, his physical pain take over his life, but he's still out here being the best person for a broken city, you know. As for the villains, I would say Magneto. I mean, I'm Jewish. That did get established on Spine Ticks. I'm not white. Or I am white. I'm white. No one else thought I was white. Even Amy and her husband was like, she thought I was the same race as Lou. I was like, she thought like me and Lou were like cousins at one point. I was like, what the hell, Amy?
That sounds like
Lou
Amy.
and I are brothers. Even though he's not here, we're brothers. I'm like, get it right now. But Magneto.
Yeah, he's still not here.
He's still not here.
Still not here.
Lou. Come on, Lou. Get it together, bro. But villains, I love Magneto. Magneto. He's one of my favorites. Kingpin, Doctor Doom. I'm always here for when Doctor Doom shows up. And then Darth Vader, I would say, is another favorite villain of mine.
A couple people in the comments have said Darth Vader so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got another question for Brandon. What's my favorite DC and Marvel book? So I already answered the Marvel book. Nice. So I love his the Daredevil, and then my favorite DC. I love the Mr. Miracle book that came out.
The ongoing one.
That was the Tom King one. I'm trying to think what else in DC. I love Brad Meltzer's Justice League. Grant Morrison's JLA is one of my favorites. I'm trying to think of like a DC book that I just completely fanboy over. The Chuck Dixon Nightwing is one of my favorites. I'm really trying to think hard about Court of Owls, one of my favorites. Killing Joke. It's harder for me to choose a DC book just because like I feel like they're just there for me sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because my favorite characters just really my favorites are like Kyle Rayner and Nightwing, and Wally, like they really only appear when there's some crisis level event that needs every character. That's why I love Grant Morrison's JLA because it had them, I guess, and it was fantastic. I love Tynan's Batman.
Right.
Tynan's his Batman Eternal is one of my favorites, and his Detective Comics. So before Tynan really got famous, go fucking read those books, guys. It's fantastic.
Look, I love all the horror stuff that Tynan does.
What's up, Michelle?
But Michelle? I actually still haven't read his Batman run. I'll be honest, especially DC's mainline titles, there's a lot there. I feel really unprepared to jump into that stuff, but now I'm like,
DC's continuity right now is so aggravating to me. I know it's very inviting to new readers, but I'm here saying, hey guys, I've read New 52 and it sucked down the road. Like, it started great. It started fantastic, right? Jeff Johns, Scott Snyder, perfect. Rebirth started out great. Where were we 2 years later? Where are we right now in DC continuity? We have an omniverse that is like, oh, everyone knows it, that we can have two Batman and one of them is his evil father, ha ha ha. But Darkseid's coming and it's like so lackluster built up, and I don't trust Joshua Williamson as a thing about DC is they've always had like like they're a ship, right? They've always had a captain. New 52 is Jeff Johns. Rebirth, it was supposed to be Jeff Johns, but it got switched to Scott Snyder. It was Year the Villain. And then now it's Joshua Williamson with this Infinite Frontier bullshit, which I'm for. Joshua Williamson's not the same visionary Scott Snyder and Jeff Johns. They're world builders. Joshua Williamson's a great character writer. I love his Robin that he just finished up. I love I love his Flash. His Barry Allen. He made me love Barry Allen for a little bit.
A little bit.
So I don't know. I don't trust him with these team books. I don't at all. So DC, I'm reading them, but I've been enjoying a few of them, not really as much as everybody else, because I'm like, just let it ride out. They're gonna cancel half their shit in a year.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. They're trying for a lot, but it feels really muddy from the outside.
Right.
Just like there's not enough. There's too much and not enough there, if you get me.
There's too much and not enough promotion. I look at Marvel, and it's like they're promoting a lot of their other like niche books. They're promoting the crap out of Captain Marvel, promoting Conan. You know, they're doing a lot of. They're promoting Miles now more than ever.
Oh God, which
is great.
Good. Yes.
Which is great. But DC's marketing really sucks. You know, look at how many people who are not reading Nightwing because they're not promoting it. That's your best. If you promoted it the right way. If you promoted Nightwing the right way, it would be your bestseller. It probably could outsell Batman right now. It probably could. I'm not lying. Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics, I love. I'm championing that right now. And Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad's Wonder Woman is fantastic as well.
That's just not selling here, but I know that one's great. Like the ones I've picked up and read, fantastic.
Wonder Woman? Yeah. See, Wonder Woman sells out by me, which I don't know if that's because people around Maryland don't watch what I do, or some of them do, you know, but no one that I really go to the LCS with does, because my LCS never promotes my brand. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like cut this back. But Wonder Woman always sells out there, you know, like, and I promote, you know, Rom V, Becky Cloonan, Philip. They're all friends of the show. So, I'm always very excited when their issues come out, because like I know that I'll be able to get them on, I'll be able to talk about it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I don't know, it's weird that DC is so lackluster, and it's also like there's a reason why a lot of their talent left. Jeff Johns left, Peter Tomasi left, Scott Snyder left, Tynan's left. It's weird why Joshua Williamson's the only one left. It's really like, I'm just like, come on guys, like Rom V's 1 foot out the door. They're just giving him the space to do those Vertigo vibes that he wants. Same thing with Dan Watters. But those guys aren't going to lead your main continuity, at least not right now.
Amy is also complaining that the Marvel's New Eternals run ain't doing it for us.
Yeah, that one just sits on the shelf. I guess like that run is being built on, okay, you need to have patience with what we're doing. Because we have a Asad Ribic, which look at what they're doing with those one-shots, that it's giving Asad Ribic the time to make sure that the main story looks the way it should. Kieran Gillen is writing this off as like a slow burn. So I can see why it's not selling. It'll sell better in trade. I guarantee you guys are selling it in trade. Because it's kind of jarring, where they're like, okay, you're supposed to learn about him, but they're also like going to die from Thanos in like 2 months. So it's weird. So it's a little weird, but I can totally see why that doesn't sell. There's nothing really going on in the book that's exciting. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I know readers nowadays don't have patience.
Yeah.
Editorial nowadays does not have patience.
You want to hit him fast, hit him hard, leave him wanting more, I guess. But
I guess, yeah.
Not so much, yeah. I know what you're saying. I don't want to keep you guys too late. I don't want to intrude on Spine Ticks. Any closing up thoughts?
Any closing up thoughts? Just thank you guys for having me. Big shout out to the chat right now. You can find me over on YouTube, Comics Kings, Instagram, and TikTok. Same handle. Like I said, I've already been talking a little about what I do. If you want to see that for yourselves, ultimately, that's up to you. But all I know is you're going to have a great time. You're going to learn a few things. We're going to talk about the books. You know, it's a very welcoming chat. And I always love it when you guys ask me these kinds of questions, because I have answers for everything. And I'm open to coming back, you know, whenever Lou and Amy want to come into the shop and hang out with me.
Yeah, absolutely. It would.
No shade.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Amy or Olivia, you're awesome too.
Thank you. I appreciate the pity. Everybody.
I mean, no, you did great, because it got thrown on you. It's like, hey, you know, I'm just paying you to do this. You know, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, which one? Which button? Oh, that one.
Yeah. I've only done this a handful of times. So, maybe when I'm better at this, I could handle your solo show. But I think that's a challenge for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, honestly, thank you so much for coming on the show. I had a great time. It's always fun being able to do interviews. Your content that I have seen has been awesome so far. I'm going to go follow you on TikTok right after this, because why not?
Thank you.
Yeah. So we will see you guys later. Thank you for pre-gaming with us for Spine Ticks, and we will see you guys next week, hopefully with Lou for reals. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Take care, you guys.
Boop.